Hi, it's Roz, and it is time for me to do a thing on Roz's journey. That is, I'm going to discuss me. Who am I? What am I? And so, what I did years ago before a big fad, before the big fad, is I did Ancestry DNA. And then a couple years ago, last year maybe, I did 23andMe. So I'm gonna do two separate things, and I'm gonna show everybody what I am because I get a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, but you're, are you, biracial or are you mixed or whatever?" And of course, I mean, I'm in America, so of course I'm mixed with something because I'm in America. But I am not biracial. Both of my parents are black, of African descent, and I would love to show it to you. So, and I also have a reason for showing it to you. So, here it goes. All right. So the first one that I want to do is Ancestry DNA, and the reason why I'm doing Ancestry DNA first is because I did it first, and also because with their DNA testing, they actually go through and they kind of go through, I guess, all the different countries, and they match you up with the different countries based on whatever your DNA says. So I want to do that. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. Okay. All right. Full ethnicity estimate for me, and I'm gonna show all regions because I have a lot of trace regions, and I think I have a lot of trace regions because I'm American. So that's what happens. So as you can see, actually in everything. Gonna go a little bit bigger over here. I am 86% African, which is a lot. A lot of people don't think that, but not everyone in Africa is super dark. So there is a lot of variety on the continent, and that is where what I am mostly. So out of the 86% African, mostly Nigerian. And the thing about 23andMe is they actually um, run a test. I believe they say like uh, 40 times. We can go through here. They do an estimate based on the different samples that they got from all around the world. If you can see this, the 26 regions. And this is how they're doing this, and then they actually like run the test multiple times. And if I can go back up, I'll get out of that. um so Nigeria, so my range was anywhere from 13 to 48% of Nigerian. And then I have Benin, Togo, which is right near Nigeria. All of this, of course, is on the West Africa, part of West Africa. um that was anywhere from none of it to 29%. So depending on where you're going, because this is also found in other areas like Ghana, Nigeria, and Mali. So 13% Benin, Togo, and then there was 12% Cameroon, Congo. So that's going more south, but it's still on the west coast of Africa. So anywhere from 0 to 26%. So they average it out to about 12% Cameroon, Congo, and then 12% Mali. Mali is uh, Mansa Musa, but it is also right over here in this area as well. It's on top of Burkina Faso, the Ivory Coast, um, Niger. They're all in the same area. Obviously, this is West Africa, so they're in the same area, and that's 12%, 2 to 21%, 10% Ivory Coast, Ghana. So that hits the other areas over here. So basically, I am talking about West Africa, anywhere from the middle part, Mali, all the way to the Congo area is where mine is saying is mostly hitting. After that, you have trace regions in Africa, and my trace regions are Africa's southeastern Bantu. That is pretty much the southeast. So I have the southeast of Africa, 0 to 11%. So they averaged it out to 5%. North Africa, um, the other part that I was missing, and then South Africa, the central part. So for me, the only part in Africa that I didn't really have, I think I had it. I might have had 2% Senegal, but totally it went 0% because it really wasn't anything there. So me specifically, I hit up pretty much all of Africa, 86%. So yes. I did not. They did not see any Native American. I do have Native American in my history, so whatever's in your history doesn't necessarily show up in your blood count. But there's some other things that show up that I didn't have, and of course, the different stories of Native Americans are there's multiple stories out there, so that's where you can start to be like, well, how true is this? But right as of right now, for me, I don't share blood with some of the, or I don't share a direct connect, I should say, with any of the Native Americans that are here. Um, then I have Asia, which is probably where my Native American is coming through. But I have Asia, and it is only trace regions. It's showing less than 1%. So 0 to 1% is showing that, hey, there is some point of part of you that came from East Asia. And I don't have any Asian family members or any history of knowing anybody in Asia. I stayed on the East Coast, and I think most of the people who came from China and things back in the day went to the West and maybe the islands. Might have some island, I don't know. And the same thing, there is no South Asia or Central Asia. No, just East Asia. I am 11% European. 11% European. Um, Scandinavia is it's all trace regions because 11% isn't that much, but you add them up together, so they're all trace regions. The big largest one for my blood is or in this case my saliva is Scandinavia. So that's anywhere from 0 to 9%, but so they averaged it out to about 4% of Scandinavia. Scandinavia is Norway, Sweden, the top part up here. Unfortunately, Denmark, which is ironic considering I have Cameroon Congo blood, and we know what happened. Well, hopefully you know what happened in Sweden with that. Ireland is the second one. There's 2% is anywhere from 0 to 7%, and Ireland is on the side of the United Kingdom. So I have Irish blood, and this one I know for a fact, considering one of my ancestors for sure was an Irish. Um, I don't. I don't want to say slave because they were in. She was an indentured servant, and actually, she was an indentured servant, and then she was free at some point. So, um, and she had some of my ancestors. So I do know that that blood it comes from an Irish person, so I am somewhat Irish in that standpoint, and that's cool with me. And then I have 2% West Europe, and it's anywhere from 0 to 8%, but 2% Western Europe is, if I can move this up, France, Germany, somewhere in there, all this areas, 2%, which could come from the other ones because they all blended too. So as you can see, it's not much. Iberian Peninsula was 1%, anywhere from 0 to 4. But the Iberian Peninsula is Spain and Portugal, so there's a little bit of the Spanish, the Spaniards or whatever. Not much. 1%. Great Britain, less than 1%. Anywhere from 0 to 6. But that's the other side of Ireland, so you never know because, like I said, this all. Actually, I can show it here. They show um and a lot of these how a typical native in the area, how much of that DNA that they have and then how much you have in comparison. So that is the Great Britain region. And then like if you look at Nigerian, well actually Nigerian's pretty mixed too. But if I look at Nigerian, mine is 30 and theirs is averaging, it's close. I mean when you start going from the high end, but it's the middle regions. So that was that. Um then I have Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe is way smaller than this. You can see for his this a little higher, but that's Poland, Romania, uh, Latvia. You can see it's all of that. That is the rest of Europe. The other regions I did not have: European Jewish, Finland, Russia, Italy, Greece. So none of those showed up. I also had some trace regions of Melanesia. Melanesia, anywhere from 0 to 1%, is, as you can see, with a typical native of Melanesia is 100%. That's what they have. This is what you get with the different islands uh, near Australia and things. And actually, and that's why I said it all depends, because with Melanesia, that region, it's studies that are showing that they came to America before whatever land bridge. Actually, they're saying some stuff, we're saying the land bridge really didn't even exist. So, but in this standpoint, with Melanesia is popping up, and it could be nothing, but considering I am supposed to have some native history, and it's not really popping up, but it's popping up as in East Asia and Melanesia, and it's mixing up in that area, it just looks like that's where it's coming from. But they really stay, so they haven't really mixed as much, and just to show it is kind of cool. Um, and no Polynesian. The last one area is West Asia, and that was the Middle East. So I am showing the Middle East, which is Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, Iraq, all of those areas, as you can see. And that was also less than 1%. It was 0 to 3%, so it was a decent amount. And as I said before, I don't have any family members for sure that I know came from that area. So in general, unclick, unclick that. If I go up, no, don't go out. You can see the whole map. I can go up. I hope this is not going too fast. Just back just a little bit. You see the whole map, and it's a bad map actually. I'm looking at this like, ooh, that's a horrible map. But it is a map right down that people show of everything. And as you can see, it doesn't really show the new world, but it shows all of the old world and how they kind of did all that blending and mixing. And it's concentrated for me in West Africa. That's what it's showing. The cool thing about Ancestry DNA is it actually gives me different areas. Like, I can move this over. Uh, Nigeria, Benin, Togo. So I actually have places, and it's not just saying, oh, West Africa. So this is my DNA from there. Hey, okay, so I just finished, and that was my Ancestry DNA. So the next video that I'm going to do is going to be the 23andMe video, and I will have that posted like probably right after this, so they'll be separate, but that will be my 23andMe video. And so as you can see, I am African, or well, I'm gonna say African because it's pretty much the whole continent. So I am African, 86% with 30% of Nigeria. So I am cool, and I appreciate that. I We'll talk about the other stuff later. I almost forgot. Like, comment, please comment, because I would love some feedback on here. And share. I am on Facebook, Roz's Journey. Um, Instagram, Rosa913. I'm trying to get some of that stuff done. Twitter, Roz_Journey. And YouTube, Roz's Journey. Okay? ROZ_SJOURNEY.